My name is James. I'm 76 years old, and I am a thief. I didn't rob a bank. I didn't steal from a stranger. I spent 70 years stealing time from my future self, thinking the bank account of my days was infinite. I operated under a comforting, seductive lie that there would always be more. More Tuesdays, more summers, more some days. Now, the account is empty. I'm standing here at the finish line with nothing but a pile of receipts and a mountain of regrets. If you're watching this right now because you're busy, because you're building your future, I need you to listen. I need you to listen as if your life depends on it, because it does. I am the ghost of your future, and I'm here to tell you that later is a graveyard where the best versions of us go to die. Every morning I walk into my bathroom, splash some cold water on my face, and for a split second, I expect to see the man I was 40 years ago. Rugged, strong, unstoppable. But then I look up, and there he is, a stranger. Skin like old parchment, mapped with lines I don't remember earning. His eyes are tired, hooded by years of squinting at screens and chasing deadlines. Life plays a devastatingly cruel joke on us. Your spirit never actually ages. Inside this aching cage of bone and muscle, I am still 30. I still feel that restless hunger for adventure, that spark of curiosity, that desire to run until my lungs burn. But the body is a traitor. It began to slow down while I wasn't looking. It started to whisper, "Not today," until "not today" became "not ever." The most terrifying thing about being 76 isn't the proximity of the end. It's the sudden, violent realization of irreversibility. You wake up and realize the door to someday has been quietly locked from the outside. I spent 40 years chasing ghosts. I remember the fluorescent lights of the office humming at midnight. I remember the smell of stale coffee and the frantic heartbeat of a man who thought his worth was tied to a job title. I was a gladiator in a suit, fighting for promotions, for bigger numbers, for the hollow nod of approval from people who didn't actually care about me. I convinced myself I was building a foundation. I told my family I was sacrificing now so we could live later. What a pathetic lie that turned out to be. Do you want to know what happened when I finally retired? The company I gave my soul to replaced me before my desk was even cleared. To them, I wasn't James. I was just a seat that needed filling. A week after I left, it was as if I had never existed. I gave them my youth, my eyesight, and my nerves, and they gave me a gold watch that tells me exactly how much time I have left to regret it. But the real tragedy, the real sting, it's my family. While I was out there building that foundation, they were busy growing up. They were busy living. I missed the school plays for urgent meetings. I missed the bedtime stories for crucial deadlines. I thought I was providing for them, but all I was doing was being absent. Eventually, they stopped asking me to be there. They didn't do it out of malice. They did it out of necessity. They simply learned how to live without me. I traded the gold of their childhood for the lead of a paycheck. I thought I was building a future for us, but in the end, I didn't build a foundation. I built a wall. And now, I'm sitting behind it, realizing that you can't buy back a single missed Tuesday, no matter how much interest your savings account has earned. I see you drinking that third cup of coffee to mask the exhaustion. I see you ignoring the ache in your back to finish one more report. I see you choosing the screen over the fresh air because you're too drained to go for a walk. You think you're being productive? You think you're being responsible? No. You are borrowing time from your 76-year-old self at a devastating interest rate. Your body is not a machine you can trade in when the parts start to fail. It is a temple, yes, but it is also the only house you will ever live in from your first breath to your last. You can move to a bigger mansion, but you are stuck in this skin until the very end. Stop treating your health like a secondary character in your story. Once the walls start to crumble, no amount of money can rebuild them. I spent 70 years waiting for the big moments. The graduation, the wedding, the big promotion, the grand vacation. I treated life like a series of mountain peaks, and I spent all my time in the valleys just panting, eyes fixed on the next summit. I was running a marathon with my head down, obsessed with the finish line, completely blind to the world I was running through. Now, in the quiet of my mornings, I realized that life wasn't the destination. Life was the dust motes dancing in the sunlight on the kitchen wall. It was the smell of rain on the pavement. It was the muffled sound of my daughter's laughter from the next room while I was too busy checking emails. I missed the magic because I was looking for a miracle. Don't make that mistake. A Tuesday afternoon is just as sacred as a wedding day. Take a long, hard look at me. I am your future if you don't change your path today. Life is not a dress rehearsal. There are no second takes. The show started the moment you took your first breath, and the theater lights are dimming a little more every single day. Every choice you make, every word you speak, and every risk you avoid is part of your one and only performance. Please, I beg of you, don't wait until you have my shaking hands and my fading memory to understand the value of your own life. Start living, not when the bills are paid, not when the kids are grown. Right now. Pick up the phone. Forgive the grudge. Chase the dream that keeps you up at night. Do it while your heart is strong. Do it before the silence becomes permanent. Because the hardest truth I've ever learned is that too late arrives much faster than you think. My name is James. My time is almost up. But yours? Yours is happening this very second. Make it count.